I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
curb your
seriously, sir.
enthusiasm? Here's my saying, curb my nausea.
That's how a Louisiana senator ended 13 minutes of testimony from a law professor who insisted under oath that her politics had nothing to do with her legal opinions. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what she said that made him say that, because she said it herself in her own writing months before she ever sat down in that hearing room. She walked into that Senate Judiciary hearing with the confidence of someone who testified in front of Congress before. Mary Anne Franks, law professor at George Washington University, there to talk about government pressure on speech, what the panel was calling the censorship industrial complex. She had a clear position. Concerns about censorship under the Biden administration were, in her words, a myth. Concerns about the Trump administration doing the same thing? Very real. Senator John Kennedy asked her one simple question before anything else. Was her personal politics affecting her objectivity here? No, I do not, she said. That answer is what the rest of the hearing was built to test. Kennedy didn't argue with her. He opened a folder instead. In December 2023, Franks had written a law review article about 2 major Supreme Court cases. In it, she argued the court had turned the Constitution into what she called a tool of what she termed racial patriarchy, and that the right to armed self-defense, in her words, promoted a culture that let white men terrorize and kill people they saw as threats. Kennedy read it back to her, word for word. Did I read that correctly? I believe so, she said. Thank you for reading it. No hesitation, no walking it back. She stood by it, and Kennedy let that sit for a second before moving to the next piece of paper in his folder. That article was just the opening. Kennedy had more, this time from her own Twitter account. November 2024, a post claiming most Americans, quote, hate women more than they love anything, including democracy. Did I read that correctly? This time the confidence cracked. I'm not sure what this has to do with the subject matter of this, she said. Kennedy asked again. I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but what is the relevance of that? Then a second tweet from May 2022, tying the court's rulings on abortion and gun rights to what she called white male supremacy. Is there a question in this? She shot back. Did I read that correctly? Kennedy asked again, the same 4 words. For the third time, Kennedy stopped asking whether she'd written the words. He asked whether she actually believed them, whether she genuinely thought the United States Supreme Court, an institution she was appearing before as a legal expert, was guided by white male supremacy. She tried to redirect to the First Amendment. Kennedy cut her off. Did you honestly say that, Professor? And you expect us, as a Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me? And then, as his time ran out, he delivered the line that would outlive the entire hearing. You've heard of curb your enthusiasm. Here's my saying, curb my nausea. Here's what actually happened in that room, stripped of the theatrics. A witness testified she was objective. A senator read her own published words back to her, unedited, unchanged, uncontested, and she confirmed every one of them until the questions got too specific to dodge. Nobody put words in her mouth. She wrote them first. So tell me what you think in the comments. Was Kennedy out of line, or did he just do his job? If this was worth your time, hit like and subscribe for more of what actually happened in Washington this week.
Professor Franks, let me ask you, I listened to your and Ms. Hemingway's testimony and Professor Turley's, so I got part of it. As I understand it, your position, Professor Franks, is that, I think you used the word myth. It is a myth that the Biden administration used government to compel speech, private speech, but that the Trump administration is doing that. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you think perhaps you're allowing your personal political beliefs to affect your objectivity here?
No, I do not. What is guiding my answers here is that I'm looking to see what the Supreme Court has said. You notice that in the testimony about the censorship industrial complex.
I got that part.
No, I just
got
want
that
to
part.
clarify.
No, but I've only got 5 minutes. Your answer is no, as I appreciate it. Let me ask you a couple questions. You wrote a law review article in December of 2023 for the New York University Law Review, and it was about the 2 cases, Bruen, Supreme Court case, and Dobbs. Remember that article?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In this article, you said, I'm going to quote your words, taken together, these 2 cases demonstrate that the Supreme Court has embraced the use of the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy, end quote. Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went on to say, quote, when the Supreme Court declares that there is a constitutional right to armed self-defense in public, it openly embraces and promotes a culture that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill those that they perceive as threats, close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe so. Thank you for reading.
Okay. And did you also say in that article, I'm going to quote again, quote, by simultaneously expanding white men's right to kill and constricting women's right not to die, this Supreme Court, referring to the current United States Supreme Court, has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact as well, close quote. Did you write that?
That sounds like me.
Okay. In November of 2024, you tweet, don't you?
I'm not sure what the current terminology is for it, but yes, I am sometimes on the social platform that was formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
I'm not sure what the relevance of that is.
You try to be provocative on there, don't you?
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance
Well,
of this question
let me
is.
show you the relevance. On November 7th, 2024, from your tweet, here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m., quote, the majority of Americans hate women. The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy, close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I am not sure what this has to do with the subject matter of this
Did you
hearing.
say it?
I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but
Yeah,
what is
you
the
said it.
relevance of
Here
that
it
to
is,
this
big as
hearing?
Dallas, right there.
Yes.
But your political beliefs don't impact your feelings about President Biden or President Trump.
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me
doctrine.
like you have your favorite feeling is anger. Let me ask you this. You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022. You've just been tweeting up a storm. You said, quote, there's a reason why the conservative-dominated Supreme Court thinks the Constitution does not contain a right to an abortion, but is convinced that it contains an individual right to possess firearms. And that reason is white male supremacy, close quote. Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in this?
Did I read that correctly? That's
Is there
my
a question that is relevant to this hearing?
Did I read that correctly? Do you really think that the United States Supreme Court, you're an officer of the court, is guided by white male supremacy?
I believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
and other
say
state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor?
I
And you
believe
expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment,
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
curb your
seriously, sir.
enthusiasm? Here's my saying, curb my nausea.